Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another MLP AU. So this is the Rainbow Factory Meltdown. Now, I actually had a short of this come out yesterday, but, I never actually made a full-length video of me just going through it normally, so that's what I'm going to do. Because people wanted that, and I don't mind doing it. Alright, so the initial victims. They still believe they're being held captive, so they'll attack any living thing they sense. Wings are removed while captive. Cutie marks been branded over. Color has drained from their body. So, real quickly here, I actually haven't read Rainbow Factory. I've never fully read it myself. And that is something that's going to change when October gets here. I am going to read so many Grimdarks. We are going to have so much fun in October. So they are blind and scared, eyes and mouth filled with cloud stuff, leaking rainbow from mouth and nose. Some part of their body is shackled and bloody. Which is amazing to think about, how you can go so long without ever actually reading the story that goes with it. But you learn so much about something, indirectly. Like this, I'm getting spoonfuls of knowledge. And go back 10 years ago, and that knowledge was pretty much widely known. All the videos. Okay, so unicorns and earth ponies are immune to the infection, but they very rarely escape the encounter unscathed. Ew. So it only affects Pegasus. If they escape at all, that is. This is horrible. This little intestine leaking thing is awful. However, when another Pegasus is attacked, any contact with the rainbow liquid is dangerous. The pony you know will be gone in less than a week. Guess you're already dead anyway then, right? Stage 1, day 2 to 3. Cloud Fluff has taken over where the rainbow made contact. Drooping eye bags, fluff coming out of eyes red and irritated. Eyes red. Wings are turning into clouds, which is pretty cool, I gotta admit. Can no longer fly. It's getting hard to see. Color is seeping out. So I'm guessing this is because there might be pressure building up in their brain or something from all the cloud stuff. Oh god. Stage 2, day 4 to 5. Kind of pretty. Color has completely drained from their body. The other Pegasi should stay very far away. Hair is falling out, 100% blind, can no longer speak constantly, coughing up fluff. Old wounds have reopened and been infested with clouds. That is so wild. Oh, that's gotta really hurt for your eyes. The color being drained part, though, is very interesting. Final stage, day 7, finally at peace, will rain the rainbow liquid, still contagious, as it drifts along quietly, dispersing when empty. Goodbye, my friend. That's sad, because unicorns are immune. That is rough. That is rough. Now we gotta check out Rainbow Dash and Scootaloo over here. Rainbow Dash, often staring out of the window up at the sky. She barely talks to her friends, but she's always hanging around Scootaloo. She just seems to feel so guilty. Restless from being locked indoors, too mopey to be as active as usual. Hind legs deeply wounded from glass shards. Her and Scootaloo always end up arguing, but will stop as soon as another pony gets near. That's usually how arguing works. Scootaloo. She hasn't wanted anything to do with Rainbow Dash since they all came to the castle. Her wings are underdeveloped, so she can't fly. She often spirals into panic attacks. Her mane are tangled and unkempt. She's closed herself off from every pony except for Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle. No pony ever sees her crying, but her cheeks are stained with tears. I can see that. That's gotta suck. Always a little banged up from scootering, although she hasn't been up for it lately. Rainbow Factory because Scootaloo ended up in the Rainbow Factory because she failed her flying exercise because that's what happened to the original story, but I'm updating that since it's inaccurate to her character. Scootaloo ended up in the Rainbow Factory because she can't fly. When a Pegasus reaches a certain age, let's say pony's age, like humans, so around 16, they have to take a test where they go through trials related to the usual Pegasus work. There's a flight portion and a weather portion, and if you fail both, you get taken to the Rainbow Factory. If you fail one, you try again when you're 18, and if you haven't improved, you're taken away. If you can't fly at all, you go straight there on exam day. The test happens once a year every year. The only other way the factory gets Pegasi is from prisons, from death row inmates, and those with little sentences, life sentences. The factory always finds a way to cover up a young pony's disappearance. Nobody ever questions where they went for long. I'm pretty sure. Oh, they turned 16, right? Didn't come back? That's unfortunate. I bet that's kind of how it's like. Everyone just knows. I wrote a script for a confrontation scene between blah blah blah. Bells references. Dang. Absolutely nuts. I did miss this stuff over here. Scootaloo fails her flying assessment by getting disqualified. Oh, I read this in the short, by the way. Disqualified for checking on her injured friend who had crashed during their turn. The two of them get taken to the Rainbow Factory as punishment for their failure, and quickly realize the deadly situation they're in. There are a few dozen Pegasi there already. All of their wings have been torn off of them. Their cutie marks are branded over and chains are fastened around either their legs or neck. They all seem so dull, as if the color has been stolen from them. Rainbow Dash enters to examine the new sacrifices, and is mortified when she sees Scootaloo. She had trained her every day to prevent this from happening. She never wanted the pony she thought of as a little sister to end up here. Dash had to quickly decide if she was more loyal to her career or to her friends. She chooses Scootaloo. I'm sorry, that's not right. She chooses Scootaloo. This does not work over well whether you enter the Rainbow Factory as a prisoner or an employee. You were not allowed to leave until you died. Rainbow Dash grabs Scootaloo and attempts to flee with her. A chase ensues. She realizes that even if they do escape, they wouldn't be free. They would be hunted for as long as the factory existed. The answer suddenly seems obvious. Dash veers away from the exit and heads deeper. Oh god, where the heck was I? Deeper into the building straight for the core. Because of her high status in the company, and a lot of kicking, Rainbow Dash gets into restricted access room and corrupts the core, sparking a reactor meltdown. Her and Scootaloo manage to escape seconds before the core collapses, and the Rainbow Factory is lost to the rainbows it created. Not long after, ponies began to emerge from the ruins. While they seemed to still be ponies, mostly ponies, the initial victims, the Pegasi who had been deemed useless and dispensable. Yeah, that's right. In one way or another, and had been put through torture for weeks or months in order to drain them of their very magic and soul. The victims seem to have a symbiotic relationship with the rainbow infection in their body. They live in just out of reach of death, gaunt and hollow, yet somehow surviving. Blind, weak, and terrified, they seem to believe they're still trapped in the factory and will viciously maul any living being they sense with a newfound strength. So far, they don't seem to be curable or killable. The infected Pegasi have a much more unpleasant experience. Every waking moment is nothing but agony as the infection consumes their magic and feasts on their vessel, reducing them to nothing more than another fluffy white cloud looming in the sky. The infected aren't hostile and seem to still be lucid up until death. However, they are incredibly contagious, and the final stages of the infection seems to be designed specifically to further the disease. Unicorns and earth ponies are completely immune to the rainbow infection. Alicorns are not. The princesses have been barricaded in Celestia's castle to protect them all. Without any Pegasi to moderate the weather, it has become increasingly unpredictable and harsh, making a typical farm work almost impossible. The survivors are getting low on rations, and they're getting desperate and hungry. So these are the first initial victims, right? These ones have that symbiotic relationship with the disease. These are the folks who were there when the Rainbow Factory blew up. And then any Pegasi thereafter that had wings and such, pretty much. This all happened to them. And if you got infected that way, you got infected that way, and that was that pretty much. But yeah, I'm not too sure how to pronounce their name. It's like shaeinflames, I think. But yeah, Rainbow Factory infection. No. I like that though. See, but like that's what I'm talking about, right? You learn so much information indirectly from the main source. You seriously do. Like all that I just read, I learned so much there. Obviously, you are able to pick out what doesn't fit there. Well, what isn't, I mean canon, I suppose. And then, but yeah, it just works. I like that one. That one's cool. Short and sweet. But yeah, thank you folks so much for watching. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.